0-0 in the end. Do you think that was a fair reflection of the game, or do you think your side were maybe the better one and deserve something from it?
Look, of course we wanted to win the game, and I thought second half we were much better than the first. A little bit disappointing for us in how we played in the first half, albeit we defended very well as a team, but with the ball we weren't great. Maybe we got caught up a little bit in the game itself and weren't really focused on what we needed to do in each moment. But I thought second half was much better. It was more like us, and some good young players got opportunities as well in such a big occasion in terms of the derby. We had some adversity with the Dharma going off, young Franco coming on, Eli coming on. So good experience for the young boys, and I thought they acquitted themselves very well. And I thought when we had the ascendance in the second half, I thought we needed to score in that period. But unfortunately we didn't. But we were very resolute, we kept a clean sheet, and we moved forward to a big game against Adelaide.
Coming out of the dressing room at halftime, as an improved side, did you switch things up at halftime, or was it more a reiteration of what you wanted to see in the first half, and they just started doing that? What was the messaging at halftime?
Look, there were a few tactical areas that we worked on during the week that we didn't do in the first half, in particular without the ball. We pressed a lot better at the right moment in the second half, and we kept the ball well. We gave it away too easily. So a combination of things, but we had a lot more control in the second half. We didn't give much away defensively. They're always dangerous, of course, with the quality they have. But it was a good, solid performance, fantastic atmosphere. What you expect from a derby: the intensity, the aggression, passion, everything you expect. And I was very pleased with the second half performance.
Obviously, the Jamie McLaren disallowed goal at the end. What was your view of it?
We thought there was a foul earlier, which we were told there was. I think there was an arm raised well before the action, but the referee played on. So had he blown at that time, we wouldn't have got to that.
And the McLaren incident, I think he pulled back. Broxham was the ruling in the end.
No, I think it was prior to that. There was a foul. There was a foul prior to that as well.
And obviously, you mentioned it was fire as a derby. I think a couple of flashpoints with Zizbac and Zinedine Machach. How do you say? Is it just derby? Do you tell your players to be careful on the line with just obviously each other's faces, that sort of thing?
Look, it's a derby, and we want the passion, and I'm sure both teams will be happy with that. And of course, you got to be careful not to cross the line, but that's what the referee's there for. Both set of players wanted to win, the fans as well. It's what you expect in a game like that, and it should be that way.
You obviously would have liked to have taken a few more points, obviously, in the first 9 games, but just the fact that you're the last remaining undefeated team, do you sort of take pride out of that so far?
We're happy with the points and that we're undefeated, yeah.
And just a comment on the crowd, I guess. Such a great atmosphere, as you mentioned, a packed house. Do you feel like you can finally just put the full stop on what happened 12 months ago? Because 12 months on, it was night and day, wasn't it, in terms of how good the crowd was?
We put that away a long time ago.
And with Traore, is he? Do you reckon he'll be all right for next week, or what's the story there?
No. He came off with the concussion rule, so that rules him out for the next game, and it's unfortunate, but we've got to put the player's health first, his well-being, and we backed the doc's decision, and clearly he came off. I'm sure he'll be fine, but he'll have to go through the protocol now, miss next week, and we expect him to be available for the following game.
On the defensive end, you guys had a good showing. You limited City to only a couple of chances sort of right at the end there. How did you sort of find that? Keeping a clean sheet in such a big game.
Good, very, very pleased. We played Sydney FC, had a clean sheet. It's something that we've found difficult to do since round 1. But it's not just the back line and the keeper, but I think as a team we're defending very well. And today was another step forward in our defensive display, and we showed good football, good play in the second half. So we just got to keep improving, keep evolving, and get the players from this experience, in particular the young players, to grow from this game where it's intense, it's tough, and next time we have this match, that our young boys can actually perform a lot better.
You mentioned Eli Adams got the opportunity to come off the bench. Is he one that you could see potentially filling in for Bruno when Bruno eventually heads off to Qatar?
Yeah, potentially, of course. It's probably the most minutes he's had, in particular in a big game. And you can see, from these mistakes that he made today, he'll learn and he'll grow. But he's a very exciting player, very dangerous. Probably needed to back himself more a bit around the box when he got away a few times, but that'll come. But he certainly has natural ability.
And do you have Bruno for your next game, or is this his last one before he leaves?
One more with Bruno.
Cool.
So he'll be available for Adelaide, and then we'll send him off and wish him well.
You mentioned the defence. Some of the scrambling back efforts, I think the Jason one was one that stood out. There are a couple of real goal-saving ones. Does it just show where this team is at right now compared to maybe at low points last season? There's this clear desperation in terms of the clean sheet. Yeah,
definitely agree. I think it's clear, the resilience and desperation from the group as a whole, and that was tough for Jason too in the second half. He hasn't played a lot of football. He's still recovering and building from last year, missing basically a whole year with that hip injury, and that intensity was tough for him. But I thought he had a good game, and he supported the rest of the players, in particular the back line and Paul, to be really desperate in and around the box, and credit to all of them. And we just want that to keep improving.
Just straight into another big game at home, probably another big crowd, Adelaide United. I mean, what's your approach getting into that?
More of the same, but this time will be our home crowd, so there'll be a lot more Melbourne Victory fans in this game, and it's our home game, and we've got great form at home, and we want that to continue. We know what the game is, like it was in round 3, intensity, tough, big rivalry, and I think we should build from that second half and take that into the next match.
On the Eli Adams sub, in previous games you've gone to Chris Economides off the bench as one of the preferred options up front. This time you've brought Eli on 10 minutes before you brought Chris on. What was the reasoning behind that decision? Was it something you saw specific to City, something you've seen in training? What was it?
I think it's many things. I think where we are at this stage and how Eli is progressing and evolving as a young player. It was an opportunity for him to come out wide, and a big challenge against Aziz Baich. And I thought he did quite well. He will get better in and around the box because he's probably one of our best finishers at the club. But he's raw. He came to us very raw talent, and we're seeing good signs from him. And he has big potential, as does Daniel, as does Ben Falami, as does Nishan, as does Ryan Teague. So we have a lot of young players. Franco, a lot of players with a lot of potential. And they should grow from this experience, and senior players to keep guiding them along the way.
And you mentioned before how you began to have more like pressing Melbourne City, and it has been one of the things notable this season that a lot more teams are keying in on trying to press City. I'd be really interested, as much as you can, to just walk through how you were trying to press City tonight and what principles you were using to dictate that.
I think if you see all of our games so far, we've been pressing a lot higher. So it wasn't anything in particular for Melbourne City. It was more just our game style. We had a way of pressing, and the principles are the same, but the strategy of the match can always vary depending on the opponent, but the principles are still there. We didn't really see them in the first half, but you could see in the second half that we put them under a lot more pressure in their back third and forced them to go long, without the purpose that they had in the first half, which was a lot easier for them. So, we did what we wanted to do in the second half without the ball, and with the ball, I thought we controlled it much better in midfield with Ryan and Jakey, which enabled us to get up the field higher. So then when Melbourne City got the ball, it enabled us to win it back quicker. So it was a collective. It's, they both link together, and when one's off, it affects the other part as well. So second half was more like us, but it's also good that in such a big game that we can respond. After a first half where the opponent was better and we weren't great, it was good to see that we could respond and change the rhythm of the game to our liking.
There's been chatter that you may be looking at a replacement for Bruno from maybe the Asian region. Is that right? Would you be looking at someone while he's in Qatar?
Europe and Asia. And Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, South America.
Maybe there as well.
And just to comment just on Bruno, just now that's all finalised, how proud are you of him at this stage of his career to get the call up?
We're all extremely proud. I think everyone at the football club is proud of what he's done so far and getting to Socceroos. And knowing him, he'll be sitting there a bit disappointed he didn't score tonight, which is good. And that's probably why he is playing the way he is. And he had a couple of half chances today, but it was that type of match. But he certainly played his part for the team. And we want him to score, finish on a high against Adelaide. If he can't score, help contribute to us winning the match. And then we'll send him off, support him from afar, and we'll continue growing, improving, and hopefully getting the wins on the board. So when he gets back, he comes back positive from a great trip with the Socceroos, hopefully winning the Asian Cup, and then he can come back and help us keep going in the direction that we want to.
And how do the next few days look for you? Are they training hard on Christmas Day, or are they get a bit of time off?
No, I'm not a believer in that. I believe a lot in Christmas. It's a special day, and it's a day of faith for me. So we don't train on Christmas Day, and we won't this year either.
Nice day off for everyone.
Great. Merry Christmas.